Hello, Abuja. My name is still Ovoh Otarigho. I'm the Chief Executive of Ideal Initiative, and with me is.
And I still remember my humble self, Comrade Success Sponsor, Executive Director, 360-degree Cal Initiative.
So a bit of introduction about us for those who are listening to us for the first time. We are ardent volunteer advocates in Nigeria. We volunteer for different organizations. I'm a volunteer for Red Cross. I'm a volunteer for Road Safety as a Special Marshal. I won the 2021 United Nations Volunteers Award on Innovation. And every day I mobilize young people to volunteer using the platform as a means of providing opportunities for young people. And Success Sponsor is an added volunteer again. Maybe you say something about what you've been doing.
We've done a couple of work and we are still doing. So for now, we are not counting our blessings.
No, but then I find the amount of energy we spend volunteering with the JCI Nigeria is very interesting, and the number of the thousands of young people you've trained on self-development.
Yeah, yes, I'm an ardent volunteer, humanitarian. I'm still presently serving with JCI Nigeria under Nigeria-Abuja Unity. I'm the project and program director covering the entire north for JCI Nigeria. And I've also served in different boards, as a volunteer. So
yeah,
I've also served in Youth Chapter UK, Mandela Mind Leadership Fellow, and that's also UK. And so most of the things we do are research program that will facilitate projects across countries. Then a couple of other organizations like the new team, Nigeria Foundation for Drugs and Narcotic campaign. So
yeah, if I let you keep speaking and speaking. No, you've actually done quite a bit, and not forgetting the role you've played in the Yali network in Nigeria. Yeah. You volunteered on that platform as well. So, today we'll still spend the whole of the time talking about volunteering. But first, the quote: "Volunteering for me is always an opportunity to further drive the cause I believe in, which is to make a positive difference and give back to the community selflessly." This is a quote from a volunteer in Nigeria. With us today.
I'd like you to take it again. I want to get every bit of it.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, good. Volunteering for me is always an opportunity to further drive the cause I believe in, which is to make a positive difference and give back to the community selflessly. So
that resonates with me.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that volunteers around the country do a lot of work. So today we have a special guest today, and he is the person of Amos. Amos is a volunteer with Yopin. I know him as a volunteer in the Yali network as well. And he has served in different capacity and mobilized young people at different levels. I think Amos was one of the pandemic volunteers as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So who?
Good morning, Abuja. We are right here, right now.
Good morning, Abuja. It's Ovoh Otarigho again. We're ready. Today I would on the issue of the National Assembly workers. The strike. Sometimes you really wonder if those who make decisions for us in the country are aware of our problems. And that's informed the reason why people in the grassroots, they make certain agitation, and they feel that because those who represent them are far away from them. Now check out the circumstance. The people who work with the representatives are neglected. So in this case, it's not that they are not aware of the challenges of these people. These are people who work with them directly. I think it's a concern for me, because if those who work for our representative can go through certain challenges and they will want to feign ignorance of it, then it tells you that the people at the grassroots really don't have to complain. This is the height of it.
Yeah.
You know? Yes,
In fact, I think the right word has just been used by Mr. Casey, because it's really the highest form of
insensitivity.
because
Yes.
if I, do you know that the National Assembly budget goes straight to National Assembly? Nobody controls their budget. Once it's already approved on the budget, they have access to it. So I don't see any reason why they can pay their sitting allowance. They can't pay the
we
workers.
cannot pay workers.
So it's funny.
And interestingly, check this out. One representative, right? The allowance for one representative probably is enough to even clear the whole of the staff of one person. Do you understand? So you see that the people who should represent us by the structure of democracy really doesn't represent us. But let's move on from
Well,
that.
I would like to really, let's just say a word about the blasphemy issue, because it's a very sad news, and I condemn this act of killings, the capital punishment for people just for the name of trying to carry out something in the name of God, in quote. Because for this to happen in FCT, that is something is actually happening that we cannot figure out. And so it's a pointer, because it happened in Sokoto, and actions were taken. And then can you imagine 30-something lawyers went to court to defend the so-called culprit, right? That is telling you something. Again, in the Federal Capital Territory, we are hearing the issue of burning somebody alive for the offense of what? Blasphemy. There's something happening, and we need to be smart. We need to watch what is happening, and so that we'll be able to. In fact, the government should actually look at this issue very well, so that there will be no repeat of it.
Look at growing up as a child, you probably would have seen your elder brothers finish university, and they will still come to the house and drag a bar with you, right? They will go back for their masters. They will be hopeful. By the time they return from masters, some even go abroad. By the time they come back, they'll still come back home and drag a bar with you, right? So over the years, people have seen that there is no value. Education has not really proffered solutions to people. Now, on the flip side, you see a guy who tags along with somebody who is into fraud, cybercrime, and within a short time, he comes to the car. He comes back to the society. So it is natural that people would want to live that kind of lifestyle. Remember that there was a time in Nigeria where as soon as you finish your primary 6 or secondary school, a car is waiting for you, or jobs are waiting. People are home. They want to go to school. They want to live that kind of lifestyle. Do you understand? So, this is not a platform to promote cybercrime, but we must look at our culture and the societal narrative why this thing will continue. We have seen a situation where mothers would tell their sons, "Is that not your mate? Why can't you do what he's doing?"
Exactly.
A guy, I was in the airport, and somebody told me a story of what he encountered. A police officer told his son that, "Why can't you do what your mates are doing?" Do you that he was saying this guy was telling his son that he should follow the trend and make money after all, So it's and this guy was saying it was in the airport, and other people share their own testimony. It's crazy.
First, I just want to ask God to give the family of these victims, the fortitude to bear that loss. It was. I call it a Black Sunday for the Catholic. That's why I call it. And since that very day, I've not been myself, and I have beginning to be thinking, if we're in a country or we're in a zoo. The reason is, what happened in Abuja? There was a robbery in Efa. From 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. no rescue. That's what's happening. Yesterday, Borno, terrorists were operating on the road for over how many hours? So there's a very serious threat to us right now, and I think that what I want to profile is that we should have what we used to have when we were young in the village, a cluster of community security. No, we have, they have vigilante, but they have natural, traditional security, architecture put in place. They have selected people who are assigned to take care of communities. I think we should go back to it too. It will also help to strengthen the security apparatus of our country. That is the only way we can put an end to these different happenings across the country.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, but then, if we have to look at it in a broader context as regards a country, we would say that evil thrived in this country because those who were supposed to act failed to act. Yes, they were quiet. At the point, it was just a mere clash between herders, armed herders, and then farmers who were destroying people's farm. But the body language of those in authorities was in support because they allowed herders to go with weapons unchallenged, And from there, you see that it's metamorphosed into banditry, terrorism, and all that. If you cannot show superior power as a sovereign nation, you will come to your knees begging bandits and terrorists.
Thank you, Malia. Thank you, Nigerians, for listening to us this morning. It's a pleasure being here. Once again, I'm Patriot Andrew Amos Ubedojo. Thank you.
So let's hear from you. Like, what has been your experience as a volunteer? What triggered your interest first?
Okay, Nigeria is a country where we could easily talk about problems and not talk about how to provide solutions. So growing up, I've discovered that there are problems and oftentimes people don't want to step in. So I looked at it that where there is a problem, I should be a voice of solution in that kind of situation. And my voluntary journey started in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, where I was able to mobilize University of Abuja students down for a conference. We call it IODEC 2006 conference at Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, actually by Africa Growth Foundation. And it was a very fantastic opportunity for me. I looked at it, I was able to do what ordinarily I thought I wanted to be able to do. As at then, I was not even in the university, but I walked up to the Dean of Student Affairs, convinced him to release the vehicle to us, and to also work with the student union government for us to be able to mobilize university students. And in their midst, I was feeling like a champion. So,
I like that,
yeah, after all of that, I sat and analyzed, I looked at it that volunteerism is actually an opportunity for you to bring out the best in you. And people could easily give you that platform to exercise your skills and abilities without so much scrutiny. If you are going for a job employment, for instance, people have to put you through a series of interviews. But for volunteering, that is not the case. They look at it that, okay, be able to act in your own capacity and bring value to whatever is going on. So since then, I've been able to put myself forward for volunteering activities. Like when we conducted election in Yali, we conducted the first digital election, and it was like, how are we going to do this? But because we had it in mind to do something different and to make sure the process is very transparent, we came up with ideas, and the technology is there for us to leverage upon, and we're able to do that.
So you're trying to say that even Yali deployed technology before INEC?
Yes, of course. No, Yali is a pace setter, and that is why we are all there. Everybody draw lines from Yali because it's a network of young professionals across the country, even those that are not even in the country. And of course, no one can undermine the work that Yali is doing in Nigeria.
I agree. So now let's come back to your core project. At your opinion, what do you mobilize people to solve in your opinion? Because you did mention that you are more passionate about finding solutions to problems.
Yeah.
And it's an act of deep civic engagement.
Yes.
Under the structure of civic engagement, what you've done, like the story you mentioned before, is part of it falls under the community mobilizing for action, community organizing for action.
Yeah.
So what are you mobilizing people for under your opinion?
Okay, we've mobilized people for various projects. One of them was a prison outreach program we had in 2018. It's actually still ongoing, but that was the first phase. The first phase was in 2018, where we were able to provide legal representative to pretrial detainees in Nigeria prisons. And we did not just do that, we also gave them relief materials. And we were able to do that from our own pockets. We actually contribute money. That is what we do in UP majorly. We contribute money. We want to feel the pain of what it means to become useful to the society. So we did
interesting.
That. Yeah. So we did that, and we were able to actually get some people out of the prisons, especially Suleja prison. So, and they gained their freedom. And some of the lawyers that we used were like, wow, I felt so good that we were able to do this.
So you mobilized volunteer lawyers,
yes,
pro bono.
Yes. So, and through that, they also gained more experience. And that project is still something that we're still doing up to now, because we have partnership with National Human Rights Commission, which gives us more backbone for us to do whatever we are to do. And also, just last year, we had an environmental project where we had to clean a community in Aleta, because we discovered that the refuse was actually blocking the road. If you look at the new layout in Aleta, where the Aleta, where Abuja Technology Village is to be built.
Okay.
The road is very good, smooth like their normal Abuja road, but they were using refuse to block the road. And we looked at it that with time this place will become completely messed up. So we mobilized ourselves. We went there with our shovels, wheelbarrow, packers and the rest, and we were able to do a fantastic job. Though we had waist pain and little bruises, for days after the program, but at the end of it, we were all happy.
Let me cut in there.
Okay.
Probably before you mention some of the projects you're doing, I know you have a whole lot of projects you want to mention, but at least this aspect of the environmental project,
yes.
Apart from, I want to see whether a root cause was addressed in your project as regards the environmental project. You know what I mean when I say the root cause?
Yes.
So because it is one thing to mobilize people to go clear off that space.
Yes.
It's another thing to go and sensitize people why they should not continue dumping refuse.
So that the effect could be
and
sustained.
then you will now create a place, a refuse dump that everybody will now have to. And then if you have to do that, what is the mechanism put in place to ensure that these things are also being evacuated by the appropriate authority? So that's
okay. Prior to that time, there was a refuse tank at the entrance of Shika, or later, so to say. And we discovered that at that particular point, it was taken away. So the pressure to dump by the roadside was there. So we actually called on Abuja Environmental Protection Board to restore the storage tank that was put there.
Okay. So was it brought back?
They didn't.
Okay.
As at the time we actually called upon them, they didn't immediately. And then where they were actually dropping the refuse dumps is very close to a gully that is just behind, where they could easily push or throw the waste into. So but they didn't want to go in and just dropping it on the road.
Side,
Yeah, so we did that, and then we sensitized people around. There was a volleyball team that were very close to that place, and they felt to them, they said they are ashamed that they could not do this, that we from far away came to do what they should have done, that they are going to make sure that nobody dumps in that place anymore. And we went around to houses that are close to that place to talk to them. Please don't allow anybody to dump any waste again. And also we put a signpost in that place immediately.
Okay.
So
that sounds interesting.
That sounds interesting. That's a good one.
And I like the fact that you were able to make the volleyball team to own it as well. You know,
Yes.
it's one of the ways
Where
to create sustainable
Yes.
change.
Yeah, and when we went back there after like 1, 2, 3, 4 months, we discovered that they were not dumping on the road. Even as at the last time I was in Analyse, which was 2 months ago,
Mm.
I also checked and discovered they are not still dumping on the road. So
So
it means we've been
That's
able
a-
to
So
achieve.
we have to clap
That's-
for
that's-
this.
Yes.
That is
Because-
sustainable change.
Exactly, because that's one thing we preach, and that's one thing we also do. We have to, in fact, as many that are listening to us who are into project execution, we should always, go extra length of ensuring that the community takes ownership of that project,
Yeah.
and then there is sustainability. It's very key. So let's allow you to continue with some of the
Okay.
achievements
No,
and
no, no,
projects.
no. Before that, let's go on a quick break, and by the time we return, the phone lines will be open for Abuja to contribute to. Stay on Radio Maria. You are onto the Volunteers Hour, and our guest is still Amos, the ardent volunteer. So we'll have Amos in the studio. He'll be sharing his experience with us as a volunteer and a community mobilizer. I'm particularly very pleased with his project in Aleta, where he was able to mobilize young Nigerians to create a sustainable change in terms of controlling the waste in Aleta. Amos, I really commend you for that. So,
Thank you,
Abuja,
sir.
you can join this conversation by calling this number 081 084 475 18. 081 084 475 18. So this platform promotes volunteering in Nigeria. Have you ever volunteered before? Would you like to volunteer in your community? Do you need support on how to begin? The number to call is 081 084 475 18. All right, we're back to you, Amos. Continue with your story.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we also have this program called Catch Them Young Sensitization Campaign. It's a program that is focused on sensitizing young people on human rights, youth leadership, and patriotism. At a point where we discovered that the trends in the society is actually sweeping across schools in Nigeria too, where students come to school and they are singing the latest songs and all of that, and they are not having meaningful conversation among themselves regarding some of these vital topics. And we reached out to a lot of schools in the FCT and Nasarawa, and we're able to actually get the pulse, to feel the pulse of young people and no students. Ordinarily, you wouldn't think that these young people also have human rights challenges or have passion for leadership and for their country. That exposes us to a lot of human rights abuse going on in homes, in families, and even in the school community.
Yeah, I think we really need to dedicate some time to talk about these issues. There, as a matter of fact, a whole lot of things go on in different homes. Yeah, young children being abused, by people who should care, for them. You take this student to school or the pupils to school, the teachers who should take care of them abuse them as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we probably need to create some time to talk about these issues because they are real,
Exactly.
And we salute you for carrying out some of this project.
Thank you, sir. And then currently, we are having this voters card awareness campaign. Having seen that there is this gap in communication, so to say, because a lot of people who are interested in getting their PVC or to participate in the forthcoming election are having a lot of challenges of how to book schedule on their online, and then challenges of how to relocate their voting location. and even how to get their lost or damaged voters card replaced. So when we discovered this, initially it was more about getting people to register. But in the process of trying to do that, we discovered some of these challenges also. That it's not just for people to register, but how do they register properly? Also, we discovered that the data release, the report of the first registration that INEC released, which shows that out of 2.5 registration, about 1.3 of it,
2.5
million registration, about 1.3 of it is invalid.
What do you mean by invalid? I really need to understand.
Okay, invalid means that people registered, people who shouldn't register went to register, making it double registration, or people did not register correctly. So which means the registration is not valid enough
to get to a PVC.
So with that huge number of invalid registration, it was now a source of concern to us. Why is it that people are having problems with this registration? So we discovered that, and with my experience from national identity card registration, I discovered that people just want the quickest route. So instead of them to go and read all the information that is on INEC portal, cvr.inecnigeria.org, they prefer to just go for new registration.
Okay, so
yes,
it means that people with existing details on the
yes
portal
are not supposed to register afresh.
Exactly.
Okay, so but because they don't want to go through the process of
retrieval,
yes,
so they just go to register afresh.
Exactly. Even on Saturday, in Eratem precisely, most of the people came to us wanting to register are people with PVC. I was like, is there not PVC in your hand? They said, no, I registered this in Port Harcourt. I registered this in Zamfara. And we begin to tell them, so you have PVC, you have PVC. All you need to do is to relocate your voting location down to Abuja where you are. And we help them to do that. In fact, they held us. We're supposed to finish like around 1 p.m. From morning. We started from 7 a.m.
So you're talking about the mobilization you did this past Saturday?
Yes, exactly. So we're actually on the streets of Abuja, with our public address system and banner, talking to people how they need to get their voters card, how they shouldn't say that their vote doesn't count, and how they shouldn't sell their votes. Because some people, if you ask them why they are getting their voters card, I must collect that money on the day of election. People,
that's what they say.
Yeah, for some persons. And for some persons, it's a way of expressing their frustration out of what there is going on in the country.
But do you think votes really count in this country?
Yes, it does. Vote really counts. In fact, from the time I've been of age to participate in election, from the time they started snatching ballot box in my own polling unit, that was when I discovered that vote counts. Because they didn't snatch it to go and burn them, they snatched it to go and count it for someone. So vote usually counts. And even though people are fond of saying that, it's a way of excusing themselves from their key responsibility as citizens of Nigeria.
So, but you see, sometimes I like to play the devil's advocate here. So,
go on, sir.
Now, see, why should I subject myself to the process of registration and voting?
Okay.
When every year the system fails me as a Nigerian, so why should I continue?
Okay, to us, one of the things we want to say is we look at the effort of INEC. INEC is not perfect. Okay, but we look at the effort of INEC. When the issue of digital elections started, INEC was the first to say we are ready. So it was other parts of the government that were not telling us we are not ready. But INEC kept saying we are ready. So for an organization to be able to take that kind of responsibility upon themselves, it's a process of transition for them, and we know it's not going to be easy. But for them to be committed to that more transparent system of election, we really need to give them that kind of support. And for us as a people, if we look at a lot of things that are going on in Nigeria, it's purely, and most of our challenges are that of leadership, and which means we've not been able to get the right people into leadership positions. So if we have a lot of people coming up for elections.
Sorry, we have a call. Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Moses will be calling from Hollywood, Managada.
Okay, thanks for calling. So, what's your contribution?
Okay, so this my young man, just see something right now that the election, the INEC, they are taking responsibility. The truth of the thing is that it's because of the money that is involved, the cash that is involved. That's why they are taking responsibility. Because they themselves, they are part of the people who are making the election not to be proper.
Okay, why do you feel that they are part of the people who make the election not to be proper?
Yes, because very many of the staff, they are part of the people who are colliding together with the politicians to snatch votes and the rest of them. There was a time ago when I was at home, I was a witness when somebody brought 10,000 and gave to the staff. After that, 5 minutes later, people came and snatched the votes away.
Interesting.
Yes. So you see, it's a staff from the INEC. So,
Okay.
and that is what is happening, and it will continue to happen because our policemen said that there was a policeman that was standing there that day. They gave her money, collected it, and she just threw her hand.
Okay, so this is interesting for me. Now, this program talks about volunteering and the community organizing, the role of the people. So at the time you saw this thing happen, what did you and others do? Because power belongs to the people. You know that, right?
The issue is that I was bold to meet the policewoman.
Okay.
Yes, I was bold, and I told her, I said, if it is international country, you are go for jail. He said, I should go away.
That's
That
crazy.
was all. The rest people were just clear at me and said, you are about to go and challenge a policewoman. I said, policewoman with a stick, and in her own presence, you were smashing box, and she could not even see anything.
Okay, thank you so much for your call. So this, I think, in this election, Nigerians are demanding more from our institution, from INEC to the police and every authority that is supposed to make this process good. So we are demanding more accountability.
My people, we pray that God will make it to work out well.
Amen.
And then let me quickly advise, sir. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
This coming election and other subsequent elections, I think you have a calling to volunteer to get things done rightly. So try as much as possible to mobilize your community people to ensure that when you've cast your vote, you stay there till that vote is counted, and in fact the agents have append their signature on that result, because any result that does not carry the different parties agent signature, the result is going to be disqualified. So
No.
that is the truth. So we need to know all these things.
Now, in addition to that, right, also put your phone on record. When you record all these things, share on the social media, because when we don't have voice in the society, we have a voice on the media, and those who should see it will eventually see it too.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you.
Okay, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Another
sir.
call.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Odi Ajike. I'm calling from Abuja.
Oh,
Thank you, sir, for calling.
Yeah. It's a great thing you guys are doing. To the volunteers, they are doing a great job.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
And in a system like ours, a system that has been ineffective, everybody's job is important. So I must commend the volunteers for this great thing they are doing, trying to improve civic education in Nigeria.
Thank you, sir.
And also fighting for the environment, which humanity is racing to destroy. I commend you, and I pray that God will strengthen you, provide resources for you, for this particular exercises.
amen.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
For the election,
Yes.
we must have something in mind. We must bear something in mind. We must understand that. Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
go
hear
ahead,
you.
yes.
Go ahead, sir.
INEC, as an institution, can never plan or intend to derail the democratic process. It's just about some few people within the system who work with politicians
Thank you, sir.
who destroy the system.
Exactly.
But we must bear in mind that this democratic process is a process, as process is a process in the real sense. And we have made a lot of remarkable achievements as a country. There was a time that the ballot box was very important. Right now, the ballot box, snatching of ballot boxes are no more important.
Yes, exactly.
It's not the PVC.
Yes. Now, we've never had PVCs. Right now, we have permanent voters cards. People come for the PVCs because it's one of the cheapest means of identification, government approved identification. But even those who do not believe in this system, as we continue, the few of us who believe in this system and who believe in a united Nigeria, as we continue to do the needful, they will turn around
and key into it, exactly.
Yes. So let's just keep doing our best. But let's just understand that it is a process. Where we are today was not where we were several years ago. Where we were in 99. It was not where we were in 1960.
Yeah, I agree.
So once we see that as a process, then that determination comes that we are going to revolutionize the process and make it better. And I know that even in 2027, after this election in 2023, the next election will be better than this one. So let everybody come on board. Let every Nigerian sit up and come on board. We must install a responsible government that will fulfill the social contractarian responsibilities
to the people.
Yes, to the
Thank
people.
you so much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, a quick one. Will we also, maybe within your own community, also make this advocacy known to your people to go for their voters card, because there is need for us to elect a good leader coming 2023 election.
All right, Abuja. You're still on to Radio Maria 91.3 FM. We have another caller. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I called back. I thought someone wanted to ask a question or something.
No.
I was just saying that we quite appreciate your contribution, and you should also do a little bit of volunteering by talking to people within your community to get the voters card and prepare ahead for the coming election.
I do that all the time. That's why I even called.
Let's clap for him.
You deserve a clap, sir.
Nigeria will transit from being a country to a nation.
Amen.
As long as we remain focused.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Please, we'll always be expecting your calls every time. We meet every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30.
I love Radio Maria. Is my radio.
Thank you so much.
Great. All right, so thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Abuja, you are still on to Radio Maria 91.3, the voice of truth, and we are on the volunteers.